Awesome. Thanks, Amanda. Maybe I'll just take over screen sharing if you don't mind, and I'll look at a couple of things. So, what's new with DORA? Let's take a look. So I'm going to head over here to dora.dev, this site that you all know and love, I hope. This is where we publish everything to do with DORA. Of course, the new big thing is the 2024 report. Hopefully you've had a chance to download it. And maybe, it's been over a month and 120 pages. Maybe you've read it by now. Maybe you're still in that first read, but I definitely encourage you to just keep on reading. It's a really great report. I'm also just going to jump over here. I'm going to show you two other things while we're here. Going to go to research and then to 2024. This is where we publish all of the research or everything related to this year's report. So of course, you'll find this overview. There's a nice little infographic, a PDF that you could print off and post up in your cube or share with your spouse. I don't know. Do something fun with that. You can grab the DORA report from here. You can also find a list of questions that we asked in this year's survey. So if you're wondering something like, I don't know, maybe we say that documentation quality has improved, and you're wondering, well, what do you mean by documentation quality? You can come to this page and find out exactly how we assessed the quality of documentation. And sorry, Michelle, I think I might have just stolen some of your thunder by picking documentation, but use these questions to understand what did we mean or how did we assess a particular thing that you see in the report. Also over here, you'll find an article around fostering trust. There will be more articles coming soon of other areas that we didn't get into the report, but we have good information on. And then, of course, there's also the errata. And like I've said before, errata is Latin for oopsies. We made a mistake in the report. So if you find a mistake, you can report it here. And if you have a version of the report, you can check to see if there are any changes available here. And then I'm just going to take one quick second to show you one other thing, and I'll drop this link into the chat because I think this is something that we should remind ourselves of from time to time. Conversations.dora.dev. Look, metrics are a great way to start a conversation. What sorts of conversations might you be starting? Well, how about open-ended questions like this? I would encourage you in your next retrospective or planning meeting or team meeting, pull up conversations.dora.dev, see what question pops up for you, and spend 5 to 7 minutes talking about it as a team. In fact, maybe we should do that as a DORA community discussion. We'll plan one of those for the new year. We'll just set aside an hour and we'll pull up conversations.dora.dev. We'll have a question come up and we'll just let everyone that's here answer and speak about that question. So that's what I wanted to share today with what's new with DORA. And with that, Amanda, I'm going to hand things back to you to introduce Michelle.
So very excited to have Michelle back with us today. She has graciously presented to the community a few times around the DORA findings around documentation. And so excited to have her here today. She brings such a depth of knowledge to the DORA team and to the community. And it has just been an absolute pleasure to be able to work with her over the last several years, and excited to hear what she's going to share with us today. Michelle?
So today we're here to talk about the section about developer experience from the 2024 report. And there are two main things that we're going to cover. The first one is stability, and then the second one is user focus or user centricity. So when we talk about stability, what we focused on was stable environments. So a really stable focus on priorities and goals for the overall organization and team. And we found a really large impact by this. It affected all of the outcomes that we were looking at with this, including burnout, productivity, team performance, and things like that. So we really see that unstable priorities create unclear expectations, which is really harmful for the teams. But on the bright side, organizations can stabilize these priorities, and shielding employees or the teams from having their day-to-day impact by constantly shifting priorities has the biggest impact. Interestingly, when we looked at this in conjunction with other things, we actually didn't find anything mitigating the impact of stability on something like burnout. So you can have of transformational leadership, you can have quality internal documentation, you can have all of these other things that we've shown to be meaningful. But if you have this in combination with unstable priorities, then you're going to see harmful effects to the teams. So another thing that we looked at in terms of stability is we actually looked at how teams are incorporating AI into the workplace. And what we found was that when teams had a focus on AI, especially developing services and products that incorporate AI into them as part of the end user experience, they do see a increased stability in the priorities for the team. So what we see that for that is we understand that as being like a bit of a North Star or a bit of an initiative that's kind of crystallizing the team's stabilities. And so in that sense, it was impactful. However, we also looked at stability of the services themselves, like putting out changes. And what we saw, which was interesting, was that involving AI into your application actually decreased stability of your service or getting your service out. So what we just see there is that there are a lot of challenges coming with adding AI into your software development product. So the next thing that we looked at was user centricity. So here we found that user centricity also had a large impact on everything else. So it really seems to substantially benefit every outcome that we explored. And this makes sense in a lot of ways. People want to build products for people, and products are better when the value and challenges of its users are the guiding light. We also see that development is more purposeful when users are the guiding light as well. So what do we mean by user-centric teams? Here we see that user-centric teams are teams that are incorporating user feedback to revisit and prioritize features. They're ones that know what users want to accomplish. They focus on the user and when they are looking at metrics and what's key for their business success. And they also believe that user experience is a top business priority. Along with this, we found some interactions with user centricity. So the first one to call out is the interaction that it has with internal documentation. And so here we see, just like with other things that we've looked at in past years, docs are really like a conduit for good practices, right? So when you are able to incorporate user-centric teams and behaviors into an environment with high quality internal documentation, then you see that the impact on predicted product performance is amplified. And then we also looked at the effect of user centricity on the software delivery. And here we see that this graph shows the impact of software delivery throughput and user centricity on product performance. So the takeaway here is that you don't need extremely good software delivery performance to create high quality products, as long as you know your users. So improving software delivery throughput can help close the gap between low and high user centricity. But if you know who you're building for and you understand their needs, and you take their feedback and incorporate it into the software development process, you'll have improved product quality, regardless of the speed and stability of your software delivery. So here, it really emphasizes that it pays off to invest time and resources in getting to know your users. An extremely good software delivery performance can make up for not knowing your users, but this may be because a team's ability to ship more often means they're able to test or get more things done with users, and that it might help with that prioritization. All right, so those are the two main portions that I wanted to cover today, and we can shift into the lean coffee.